Welcome back to the Competitive Talk. This is your host, Kyle Dangler. This podcast is presented by Loud Creative Works. And today we have on guest Teach Grant, who is an actor and especially known for the part of Harry Bowers in It 2, which just came out a few weeks ago. So we're going to give him a call now, and we'll get going.
How you doing, pal?
Good, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So we'll just get started right away if you're ready to get going.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Good. Yeah. So just talking, a bunch of different actors that we've had on the show thus far. Just curious for you, kind of what got you in the acting? Have you always found a passion for it? And then, just going off of that, I mean, how thus far have you built your career in the acting industry?
Yeah, I was born in 73, and so kind of in the hangover of the 70s and early 80s growing up, the only real commodity kind of was sports, and that was kind of the only language that my family or relationship that I had to my father, the only thing that there really was. And I was an emotional kid, and I suppose I kind of needed an outlet because feelings and emotions weren't exactly welcome around the dinner table. So when I discovered acting in the early high school years, I realized that you can kind of express your own emotions from within, a character, or at least exercise them. So for me, that was kind of, my portal to a new kind of way to experience my emotional side, and I really gravitated towards it.
Awesome. Yeah, so, starting, at the beginning as a young actor to now, what thus far have you progressed on the most, whether it's, kind of, relating to your characters a little bit more, getting in the character more easily? Is that the lines coming easier? I mean, what have you been working on mostly to enhance your skills thus far?
Yeah, it's, as a younger actor, it didn't matter what the scene was. I always just wanted to swing for the fence.
Okay.
And I think I've learned to pick my spots a lot better now. And I think I'm a lot less precious with it than I used to be, which in a sense, you're just squeezing the stick a little less tight, and you start finding the back of the net a little bit more regularly. And then the technical side of it too, just understanding camera and light and how to work with that, and being free with that. And then just taking my prep a lot more seriously than I did as a young actor. I think I appreciate my opportunities. I recognize its privilege. I'm not thinking about myself in the art, so to speak. I'm more concerned with the amount of art in me, and so it's less about the trappings that come along with the career, and more just about wanting to do quality work every time I get the opportunity.
Awesome. Yeah, so going, being an actor, on the movie and TV side, getting, tons of, kind of guest appearances on shows, but also doing movies. I mean, just for you, talking to other actors, they usually always have their preference gravitating towards one. What for you do you find, not more easier, but, what do you find more enjoyable, playing a character more often in a couple different TV episodes, or do you like kind of the movie? Just what kind of do you gravitate towards?
I think we all still have a love affair with feature film. With that said, these new cable streaming shows, they're kind of like 10-hour feature films, and they've got the resources they need in order to produce them that way. So we're kind of in the golden age of television as well. For me, yeah, definitely the one-off. It can be fun. You can go in, you get a little bit of work done, but you can't really, flush out a trajectory that you get to work on for, 6, 8 months, potentially 10 months over the course of a season. So you just get to know the character more. You get a little bit deeper with it. It just becomes more fully formed and nuanced and textured and whole and natural. And that's what the lead-up time in feature films enables as well. And the shooting schedule is a lot slower. So you're typically not doing what you do in a network TV show where you're shooting, 8 pages a day. You get on a movie
Awesome. So, going back to, your first gig in, 1999 and, just looking at, some of the stuff you've done, you've been pretty consistent with, the amount of work that you've been putting in per year. But, just recently, obviously with one of the big blockbusters of the year, It Too, coming out, It Chapter 2, and you playing Henry Bowers. Just curious, how you kind of got in contact with that. Did you audition? Did they call you? And then how did you find it just going throughout the process of the movie where, it's kind of different in the sense of, you're playing a character that's already been portrayed on film just in a younger version. So how did that work for you? Just trying to make sure you related to, the younger version as much as possible.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll start with the process of hooking up with it. My manager was able to convince Rich Deal Casting in Los Angeles to see me. So I sent the tape, and the first tape was literally just one speech from It Chapter 1, the scene with Bowers and Mike as they battle, and then Bowers ends up going down the well.
Yeah.
And it was just a really efficient way to go about it, because I think they just wanted to see who could look like Nicholas Hamilton and whose headshot looked like him. They wanted to see you live on screen. And we made it through that hurdle, and they sent a nice 3-page scene that unfortunately we don't see in the cut. Hopefully it makes its way back in the director's cut. And I got to work on that for 5 days, which was really generous. I had access to casting to have some questions. My main question was, after 27 years, how far gone is the Bowers question? And the response was basically, how far can you take it? And that's kind of when I got really excited, because it just releases any restraints that you have on you, and you can just go the distance with, Henry's madness, even in an audition, which, sometimes in these tapings that can overwhelm. But I had a good feeling that they wanted someone to swing for the fence on that. And we thought we were going to be into a callback situation, so I flew down and positioned myself in Los Angeles for a couple of weeks, and the callbacks never came, and I figured they just moved on and that we were dead in the water. So I flew home. I was a little bit dejected because I really wanted to be a part of it. And then the next morning, my manager called and said, "You've been approved," and we were just elated. It was a big surprise and a shock. And moving forward into the process, and you say like a character that has always been fleshed out and previously created, you've got all these isms that you need to incorporate. And so in some sense, it's a bit like moving backwards, because you have the finality of Nicholas Hamilton's wonderful performance. And so I kind of just watched that on repeat and kind of just picked up on the way he was processing things. And he would have this stiffness to his upper body, and he'd get this look on his face that was somewhere between, fascination and just trying to figure out what was happening as he was kind of entering into young Bowers, early madness. Yeah. And so I incorporated all these things into my development. And basically, I had the script in Chapter 1 and Nick's performance, and then I had the writing in Chapter 2. And then, there's all that imaginary writing for what 27 years between would have been like for my Henry Bowers 2.0. The book was available, but I discussed early on with our director, Andy Muschietti, that if I'd read the book, I felt like I would have been playing a whole bunch of things that didn't exist in our adaptation of the book, so I actually stayed away from it. Sounds lazy because it's 1,238 pages, but it's something I feel like I really want to go and just see the other side of Bowers that was created, because I know there's a lot more detail in there.
Awesome. Yeah. So, just, after, it's been a few weeks since, the premiere of the show, just on, theaters, around the country. Just so far, I mean, how has the feedback been for you personally and, the rest of the cast, just with the overall movie? I mean, has it been getting good feedback in your opinion? I mean, what do you like about some of the stuff that's been, being said? I mean, do you even look at it? Are you someone who, just kind of doesn't look at the news? How does it go for you, after such a blockbuster film like that premieres?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because sometimes what a movie gets critically from the writers is different from what you get from fans. stayed loyal to the book. With that said, I mean, it's a whole lot of story to pack into 2 chapters, and I think with chapter 2, it had more story than we could really fit into it, and that's why Andy's talking about a supercut that will be some 6-7 hours long with these 2 films intercut, and then all the deleted and missing scenes will be included, which I think would be a lot of fun for the fans. So for me, when I'm reading reviews and I'm looking around, I try not to let anything tip me off balance. It's all subjective anyways, and especially as widely regarded as this movie was going to be, there's going to be an equal amount of good and an equal amount of bad, and I kind of look, through my fingers at the review, and when I start to read it, if it's not working for me and it's just not going to do anything positive to me, I just kind of I'll put it down, and haven't really sought out reviews on my own performance per se. But with that said, I have been curious, what the public response has been to the movie, and I think overall the true fans of the franchise have enjoyed it. And so for me, I feel just lucky because you got the book, you got the 1990 miniseries, you have this huge 2017 hit of Chapter 1, and then I get to come in at the very last minute and tap in basically a gimme putt to be involved in this just massive mothership, and so I just felt extremely grateful.
Awesome. So, getting a chance to, do all these films and movies, not just specifically with It Chapter 2, but just, going back to your first, audition back, 1999 and, getting that part for the first time to now, just with kind of the age of social media, progressing so vastly. I mean, just being to interact with fans and, doing certain stuff like this, the podcast probably wouldn't have happened, back 20 years ago just because, social media wasn't prominent back then. I mean, just how for you have you seen social media grow the movie industry and just help you connect with fans and just, see more of your own kind of feedback from people?
Yeah, I mean, I'm delighted when people send me a direct message, with their feedback on the film. I think it's just really cool access to what people are, thinking and feeling. I'm not famous. I think it would be difficult in the age of social media to be, famous enough that people are taking your picture and then suddenly other people know where you are. And I think it's something that people who are truly cultivated have to be wary and protect themselves from. But with that said, I mean, it's just to watch this fan base. I mean, they really are just special. The social media presence of the fans and the amount of fan art that's created, and the 2 years in between the film, they were just so active in creating content and discussing the movie, and they've built this almost community amongst themselves where they've become, online friends and in chat groups. And I mean, it's just a development that no one could see coming. And I myself, as I'm 46, and I'm not exactly a Luddite, but I don't even know really how to maneuver social media. I just kind of dip my toe in that a bit. It's not really my specialty, and then it also kind of feels like something like you have to do, and like to create content and be current and on it. And I'm not really trying. I don't have a number of followers that I'm trying to get, but I do like to have access just to see what's going on out there. And for the positive side of it, it's good, and there's a lot of negative too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're calling me from New Jersey, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I gotta say, your Devils look like they're gonna be good this year. They're on the comeback.
Yeah, right. They're looking pretty good. A lot of young talent there.
Yeah, absolutely. Give them 3 years. I think you guys picking up PK Subban was a really smart move.
Yeah.
He's gonna be great.
Hopefully, they got him from Montreal, so hopefully it turns out good.
Yeah, they grabbed him from the Preds. Actually, went from Montreal to the Preds, but he's a really good franchise guy. I mean, he basically took his bonus in Montreal and built the wing of the hospital. So he's really good in the communities that he plays in. So, you guys be blessed to have him.
Awesome. Yeah. So are you living in California right now? Then.
I'm between Los Angeles and Vancouver.
Okay.
My wife's still she's props master on Supernatural, so she's got her career going. I think when she's done season 15, which is going to end in the spring, then she'll join me down there a little bit more permanently. So for now, it's a little bit of a back and forth situation, but we both have a career, and so we have to make sure that we mind both of those things, because it's not just about me.
Awesome. Yeah. So how does that go? Just being away, kind of being on two separate, kind of being in the industry together, but also being in different parts of the country or the world. Just for you guys, I mean, is it tough? Do have to deal with not seeing each other a lot, just because you see a lot of couples and famous athletes, or just really anyone that's been doing kind of creative stuff or sports stuff, being apart. I mean, for you guys personally, how is it just going between you guys, having to balance your careers and then also balance family life?
I think it really helps when she's in the industry and I'm in the industry, and we've been together since '03. And the fact that she understands the bigger picture, and she's a very pragmatic Eastern European woman. And so it's actually, it doesn't build any friction or tension, and I think in both of our mindset, because we have been together so long. Having these moments away and experiences that are our own gives a little something to bring back into the relationship to share. So I actually think it helps us a lot more than it hinders.
Awesome. So, just talking about, your career, in total, just all the stuff you've done, getting to play, just, going from It Chapter 2 to, back to your first film, just what kind of, character have you been playing mostly? I mean, are you mostly kind of, the kind of not villain, but kind of more the evil kind of guy who is causing trouble and havoc, or have you been playing a bunch of different sides of characters? I mean, what has it been like so far for you that you found the most success in?
Yeah, it's funny. I started in that first movie as kind of like a beta male character, very tender and very emotional and sort of insecure and meek, and kind of that's where I got my comeuppance, and then rather quickly it turns into your villain, your bad guy, your evil character. Partly my natural vibe and my face, and also I think where I excel most is at the emotional extremes, and I don't really fit the leading man mold, and I don't, I might have had 2 on-screen kisses in my entire career. So you find yourself into a box or a mold, and especially when you put one villain out with a casting director, and it's a good read, or that show worked, they kind of come back to you for that. And so whether I was pushing in that direction, I've definitely found my way there. And so now, moving forward, I love playing, the antagonist, so long as they have more than one note and they've got a purpose, and they're not twisting their mustache, and they're not just bad for the sake of the hero needing something, bad to respond to. But I do want to take on, and I've had a few opportunities, that character can still have edge, and he can still have a duality, but has a little bit more of a moral compass. And I think that's something moving forward that I'm asking my people to try and set us up for.
Awesome. So, just, the last question with It Chapter 2 before we kind of wrap up, and just ask you a few more questions after. Just, with the movie, coming out in, a few weeks ago, how long did it take you guys to film? I mean, how long were you personally on set? And, just, being on set for, I'm sure a while, just to, make sure the film was, how the directors wanted it to be. Just for you guys, I mean, was it fatiguing coming towards the end, just how much, kind of acting and scenes you had to, put together, and, just do it a couple times, I'm sure, hope maybe even more, just to, make sure that it was perfect before it went on screen?
Yeah, I mean, with Andy Muschietti, he does a lot of takes, and he does a lot of multiple versions. So I think they shot for a little over 4 months, and I was there for a month. fun and it's intense. His set vibe is absolutely incredible. I think he just wants to enable the actors to feel free to play and experiment and take risks, and that's ultimately what he's looking to do. So in terms of like an actor-director relationship, it's sort of a dream scenario. With that said, you have to be willing and ready to, put your 12 hours into the scene and know that you've done it 8 different ways, and when it's cut, it's going to be brand new and fresh to you, which is also really interesting because you typically want to control your arc when you're working and the long trajectory. And on this movie, it could have been just like a choose your own adventure for Andy in the cut, where he could have used Bowers as a swing character, like, oh, the movie needs this tone. Okay, well, we'll bring out this kind of Bowers. Now, when I watched it, I had no idea what to expect in terms of the scenes and which tone of Bowers he was going to bring. So that itself was really interesting. And for me, with this movie, and I've never done anything this big, and even from the time we got it, I didn't really allow myself to think about that. I didn't allow myself to think about that while we were shooting. I just wanted to focus on the who, what, when, why, where of my character, because I felt if I really started to try and wrap my head around this monstrosity, that it was going to knock me off balance. Okay. So when we were done shooting and, you're waiting for this thing to come out, I kind of just did the ostrich thing, other than, a little bit of social media presence and talking with some of the other cast members about our expectations. And it didn't really come out and slap me until I was at the premiere in Los Angeles, and I was just blown away. I was like, oh my God, this is just bigger than I thought. Just the whole pomp and circumstance and press and the gallery and the fans that had stormed the theater, it was just something to behold. So I was a bit caught off guard, to be honest.
Awesome. Now, speaking, of the premiere, just for the people listening that, haven't, I'm sure most of the people just haven't been able to, go to a premiere like that. Just for you personally, where, I know you mentioned Los Angeles, but what theater was it at? Just how much kind of press was there around? I know you mentioned there was press, but just kind of what you mentioned before, the monstrosity of it. Was it kind of almost like a culture shock for you just to be in that environment and be one of the, kind of people in the movie and get to, experience that, inside the theater, which most people don't get access to?
Yeah, it was, even by people who attended the premiere, members of the press and other more cultivated Hollywood personalities than me said that even by their perception that it was a massive function. It was rare, of its size. And so for me, the whole experience was a little bit, somewhere between like Alice in Wonderland and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where, I got picked up in Venice by the car that they hired for me and my wife and went to Westwood where the theater was, and we could see coming up to it the parking lot outside of the theater. They completely walled in and built a circus for the after party. Like a fully functioning circus, with games, with bars, with everything. And then pulling up to the media port and just, the walls of fans that were surrounding it. And I was a little bit insecure coming, so I was like, man, I don't even know if these people are going to know who I am. And, I stepped out of the limo and, you're just kind of a bit dizzy when people start yelling your name and then they're holding out Sharpies. And it was a bit overwhelming. And, I was certainly glad to not go unrecognized, but it was my first real experience with that kind of a moment. And so you spend some time there and kind of just propelled by that energy, and then you step onto the step and repeat, which is the photo gallery, and the flashes are just going off, and the rest of the cast is there. There's other Hollywood cultivated personalities and actual stars there, and the next 90 minutes is just basically step going into the media gallery and talking to some 50 different media entities before the start of the film. So things, I've seen on ET, those, entertainment talk shows, or on Twitter.
Yeah.
But to actually be on the other side of it on something of that scale, it really, for lack of better words, it kind of just blew me away.
Awesome. Yeah, so being a part of, that movie, getting to, be in one of the blockbusters, especially of 2019, now looking, after that, I mean, what's up next for you? I know you just finished a short film, Beyond the Call, playing Blake, but, what's next after that for you?
That's funny. Yeah, that was a favor I did for a buddy of mine about 4 years ago, and looks to me like he's actually just gotten it finished. It was actually a volunteer job for the police department in order to put out a somewhere between a PSA and a training manual for negotiating tactics for the police force. So it's kind of funny. That's sort of coming out now, and as we live in the age of the NDA, I wish I could share information, but I do have things brewing, and hopefully I can announce soon.
Okay.
But our whole effort is kind of surrounding trying to stay consistent with something on the level of it, and so we've been holding out for the right thing, and I think we're looking down that road right now, and it's kind of where I need to be.
Now, I know you can't share, what kind of, but are you looking to stay more? I know you mentioned, on the level of it, chapter 2. Are you looking to stay in the movie kind of things side of, film, or are you looking more TV? I mean, what's next for you? I mean, do you like the movies so, you could play different characters more frequently? I mean, what kind of is next for you after, being in the movie?
It's just more maintaining something on that kind of profile.
Okay.
Something that's going to generate exposure for us. Just more meaning that we're not going into an MOW type situation right now. We're looking more into cable streaming and features, and that's about where I can go with that. But
now, was that from just kind of the buzz or channeling it chapter 2? I mean, did that help open more doors for you personally? Because just talking to other actors and stuff, there's usually that one kind of break that they get in their career that kind of launches them to opening more doors that they want to step into. Just for you personally, was that something this movie that helped you get more opportunity?
100%. Casting directors that beforehand didn't know who you were, and just by proxy of just being attached to the name of that franchise, people are keen to have a look at you for the first time, and so it opens those doors, and then from there, relationships can develop, and you can be seen more consistently. So without it, undoubtedly, I'm seeing opportunities now that I never would have had a crack at before.
Awesome. Yeah, so, just final question that we'll ask you, before we wrap it up. Just wanted to ask you, besides it, chapter 2, we've been spending a lot of time on that, just because it's come out, it's such a big, movie this year. But, just throughout your whole career, it can be, it chapter 2, playing Henry if you want it to be. Just curious, what so far in your career has been your favorite role that you've played, whether it's movie, TV, is there any particular one that stands out to you?
Absolutely. I mean, other than the obvious, Henry Bowers, which was a delight and a treat. There was a little known show on USA Network that's now streaming on Netflix called Damnation, and we were
playing
kind of
Preston.
And pardon me.
Playing Preston Riley.
Playing Preston Riley.
Yeah. Okay.
I just think the writing on that show, Tony Toast, it was just so detailed, and although it's existed in Depression era Iowa, and it was about strikers and strike breakers, and the forming of labor unions in the United States. It had so much relevance to what's going on in current day in North America. It's a sad note because I wish it could have gone on, but it's also that character and handling the depth of that writing was something I could have signed up
Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely great to hear. It's always cool to, besides, the big blockbuster hit that's come out that we've talked to people, hearing, kind of the other parts that they've gone through, just kind of more of the under the radar is definitely cool to hear. Just some of the development that, most people might not be able to see, just, looking at your career, picking out that one specific movie. So that's great to hear.
Cool, man.
Yeah, So
thanks for having me today.
yeah, thanks for coming on. Just being, a part of that movie, it's definitely, an honor to have you on the show. We look forward to seeing, what you do next. We'll be looking, for the announcements. We'll let you know when the podcast is uploaded. It should be sometime this weekend. And, just thanks for coming on and giving us some of your time.
Sure, yeah, just at me once you...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I'll spread it on my channels.
Awesome. Yeah, we will totally, include you and tag you in it and all. And we'll also, I'll send you the link via, text and direct message to make sure you get it. And, just thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for reaching out. I appreciated that. That was cool.
Thank you. Yeah, have a good rest of your day. Hope to talk soon.
All right, take care.
Bye. Yeah, so that was Teach Grant from the movie It Chapter 2, playing Henry Bowers. He's also been in a lot of other things like Damnation, as he mentioned, The Flash, Supernatural, Evil Man. He's been in the industry for a while now. He's been playing a lot of different roles. It's great to hear that, It Chapter 2 has opened so many doors for him, just, with kind of more of this kind of roles that he's looking for, more prominent roles. So hopefully we see him in new movies or channel streaming services and playing new characters. We wish him the best, and thanks for listening. Have a good day.